So we're on another road trip today. Going to be heading up to Inverness and Loch Ness tomorrow. But today we're up in Aviemore. We were meant to go via Pitlochry and Queen's View, but I missed the turn and it's going to be a pretty big detour to go back to it. So we just headed straight up to Aviemore. So we just got here now. I think I've only maybe been here once before. Just driving through, I'm sure. I was coming up to Inverness to play basketball or something many years ago. So I've never really been in Aviemore. I think it's like the hub of skiing and snowboarding, that sort of winter sports stuff in Scotland. But again, never been myself. I just know a few people who tend to come up here when it's winter time and whatnot. There's only a little bit of snow in the mountains at the moment, so I'm assuming it's out of season. Again, showing my lack of knowledge on the sports. But we're here now, so we're just going to go and get a wee coffee and that before we check into our hotel. You have an umbrella?
Yeah.
Let me see. So we're staying at the High Range Motel. They've got like a caravan park here as well, and some little chalets just around the side, I think. There's a wee restaurant here called La Taverna. Seems good. It's got a good write-up in that online. But we're heading back into the sort of town centre to get something to eat tonight. We're going to a place called Cheese and Tomatin, which is a hilarious play on words. Tomatin is a little village close to here, and obviously it sounds like tomato, so they've said Cheese and Tomatin. It's a pizza place. Really hilarious. I'm enjoying that. And Tomatin is also the name of a whiskey. This whole area, this is sort of Speyside, so there's tons of whiskey distilleries around this area. You've got Dalwhinnie just down the road. Tomatin's obviously nearby. Anywhere you go in Scotland's basically a distillery. Scotland is a distillery. So we enjoyed those pizzas last night. I went for the Scotch one, which has got the black pudding and the haggis on it. Didn't really get so much of the smoked cheese that they promised on the menu, but it was good nonetheless. Very busy place as well. After we came in, there was a group of about 20 came in, and there wasn't a seat to be had in the place. Loads of takeaways coming out, so would recommend if you're up this way, check out the Cheese and Tomatin Pizzeria. So we're on the way to Inverness and Loch Ness today. Weather's a bit better than it was yesterday. It's not raining yet. Hopefully it stays that way. But it does make the scenery pretty dramatic with the mist and the fog that's going around. So at least Bruno and Hakel are going to get an authentic trip around the Highlands of Scotland. I've only been to Inverness, I think, maybe once or twice. Loch Ness only the once as well. But I think I was like maybe 13 or something at the time, and you know what you're like as a 13-year-old, you didn't want to do anything with your parents. So I don't really think that I enjoyed it as much as I should have. So I'm definitely going to look forward to it today. Nothing left to do now except what seems to be my favourite thing, and get a coffee and then hit the road. It's my dad just getting Google Maps for the journey. Yeah. The most mental thing has just happened, and we're in Fort William. We've taken a little bit of a different route. We're going down by Loch Ness, and it was just raining and grey and miserable the whole time. We couldn't see anything, so we just kept going. So we just went to McDonald's just to get something to eat, and then as we're leaving McDonald's, we've bumped into Anna. This is mental. I've not seen Anna since you helped me move my stuff up from London, right?
No, yep.
We used to work together in London, and I haven't seen her in almost a year and a half now then. And we left the McDonald's, and there she is pulling up to the zebra crossing that we were going across in Fort William.
I recognise it.
That's nuts, absolutely nuts. We're very happy about this. So we'll be seeing him next week as well. So I don't know, maybe that's kind of ruined that.
Maybe see each other next week.
Shouldn't come next week now. Yeah, that's nuts. I can't believe that. Last part of the trip today, we're going through to St Andrews and then finishing off in Anstruther with some world famous fish and chips. Yesterday there was a bit rubbish for Loch Ness. As I mentioned, it was just raining and grey and miserable. You couldn't really see much. We didn't really stop there and sort of take in too much of it because you couldn't see it. So we just kept going and ended up in Fort William, which is where we met Anna and Shah on their travels, which was just still in shock at that. That was mad. So yeah, you may know from other videos that I've done, Santo André is Portuguese for St Andrews. So this is kind of the home away from home for these three Brazilians. Another short road trip today, and there's only a couple of days left with Bruno and Raquel here, so we're going to make the most of it. So one thing St Andrews has got that a lot of places in Scotland doesn't is original infrastructure. Like this here, this would have been the city walls, but right back in the olden days. So you would have had a wall sort of encircling the whole of the city, and then this would have been one of the main gates to get in. So it says on the sign there it's 400 years old, which is a hell of a long time. And this here's Blackfriars Chapel, which was built in the 1500s. I'm not a religious person by any stretch, but I do like the buildings, like the Gothic architecture and stuff's really nice. So we're just making our way into the grounds of St Andrews Cathedral. It's heavily under repair at the moment. It's a bit of an eyesore the way they've got all the metal fences around everything, but it's definitely needed because, yeah, as you can see when you're going around, it does look like it's about to collapse on you, so it's needing restored. It was consecrated in 1338, and at the time it was the largest building in Scotland. And you can see why, because it is a fair size. It's a fair footprint it's got on the ground. So you got a cemetery in here as well. I'm just going to check out some dates. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty old. So they're not actually as old as I thought they were going to be. Like there's some that are the end of the 1800s, start of the 1900s. I was expecting them to be 14, 15, 1600, but maybe not. So with St Andrews being the home of golf, I've just stumbled across this gravestone that we've got here, and I'm not a huge golf fanatic or knowledgeable about it at all. So just a quick Google and a quick Wikipedia, I found out that on the left here, as it is now, this is Thomas Morris, who was one of the best golfers of his day. And then his son is in the one that's behind us here. So I think between them they won quite a few of the Open Championships. I think his dad, Thomas Senior, won the first ever one. Didn't know I was going to find that here, so that's pretty cool. A little bit of history there. So this bit here is even older than the main cathedral. This was built in the year 1123. It took a few years to build though. It's 1123 to 1159. As it shows there. And that's why I'm a bit surprised at how young these gravestones all are. I thought they would be a lot older than that to match the sort of timescale of the cathedral itself. So these are parts of the original tiling in the floor. They were apparently first stepped on in 1230, so almost 800 years ago. That's insane. So we've arrived in Anstruther now, and the smell of fish and chips is in the air, and it is delightful. I'm not the biggest fan of chippies, to be honest with you, but you know you're going to get a good one here, so I'm excited for it, and I'm very hungry as well. So there it is, the Anstruther Fish Bar. It says there, winner of the fish and chip takeaway of the year. I think it does that most years. You see there's a queue on the left and a queue on the right. Queue on the left is if you're sitting in, and then the queue on the right is for the takeaway. So we're on the last day with Chia Kalpinki in Brno in Scotland. How's your time been? Have you enjoyed it?
Amazing. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I wish it was longer. One thing for sure is that it's much more pretty than I expected. Scotland, it's beautiful, it's amazing, people here are really nice, apart from that one.
Except up in Loch Ness area.
Yeah. But in this area here, Carnoustie, Dundee, every place that we've been to, we were treated really nice. Like even the locals here in Carnoustie, like they always say morning, good afternoon, whatever. So
yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah, we do enjoy living here. Did you enjoy your fish and chips yesterday?
Yes, it was the best one that I ever had. Yeah, I had a few, not many, but I've had in London and in some other places, but the one yesterday was the best one for sure. And the other ones were too oily.
Yeah, that's why I'm not too big a fan of chippies. So we're going to finish up with a game of mini golf. It's also raining today, so we're going to get a proper game of golf. I really hope I win, because this guy is the worst winner. Like, you get bad losers, he's a bad loser, but he's an even worse winner.
Yes,
so
I
I need to win this. So that'll do it for the vlog with Bruno and Hakel. They're moving on to Greece next, going to Crete. Is that right?
Yeah.
They're potentially making their own channel as well, so if they do, I'll drop the link in the description. So yeah, if you've enjoyed that, please do subscribe, like the video, share the channel, do what you want to do with it.
Share here.
Do whatever you want to do with it, as long as it's consensual. All right. Until the next time, guys. Pinky and forefinger. So your right pinky,
Like that.
other way.